me in a heart attached would say thank you for being a friend. Do 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 do. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Thank you for being a friend. Dun 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 dun. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. You will be in the world. Doom, 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 doom. Whoa, he's so scraggly. What am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do? This would be the joint. Nobody knows what goes on in my mind, but I know that I know what is on in my mind. Oh, oh, no one to the trolls, one to crawling down the mountain to the crawling to the village and the voyage and village and plunder, village and the orcs will plunder. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sort of just going on from a whim, making stuff up as I go along. No one's here now. No one cares about me. No one gives a crap about me, man. I'm just here by myself. Oh, I got some people watching now. How you doing? Everybody okay? Oh, I hope everybody's having a good night. Good nights are hard to come by. They're in short supply. Especially when you gotta pay for fun. Everywhere you go. All free movie streaming platforms. There's only one, it's Tubi. Everything else is Amazon Prime. You know, you have to pay for that. Of course you get free shipping, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things when you have to pay for it. And then you got Hulu. Hulu, you have to say like 20 times that you want to cancel your subscription when you can't afford it anymore. And then you got freaking, like, Tubi's great, but it's all, like, movies that you would never see in the theater. Like, it would always be something that you'd see in, like, some sort of, like, a low-budget backyard showing. Like, what movie? Like, Bunny Man Massacre 3, or whatever it's called? It's like, you know, I don't get it anymore. I don't get it. Like, all these movies that... Like, they're all, like, they're probably good, you know? I make movies, too. But, you know, like, they're all, like, they're probably good, you know? I make movies, too. But, you know, I mean, I guess it's, like, another way of, like, another part of the universe of, like, movie making. Is low-budget stuff. Low-budget stuff is fine, you know? Let me through, man. Come on, let me through. Oh. This guy's such a doofus. His name is Henry. Henry's looking for some fun here. Oh, thank God I killed Henry before he killed me. Look at that guy. He's so thick. With 2 C's. And let's see what my guy looks like. I called him Molag Go Shrub. Because he's an orc. But how can I show you a picture? I can't. I'm gonna have to go into photo mode. I don't know if I could do that from here, though. Nope, I cannot. He's a green orc. I wonder, if orcs were alive today, would people be racist against orcs? Because of the color of their skin? It's an interesting question to think about a fairy tale character in the real world being racially judged or whatever. It's not really interesting. I mean, it's pretty bad, to be totally honest, but I would hope that people would be non-judgmental when it comes to orcs in fairy tales. Why do they call them fairy tales anyway? Fairies don't have tails. I pretty much killed my audience. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, you know. Yeah, I'm just good in general. I don't think I'm making any more determinations off of the determinating factor of the determination in general of the determinating thing that determines whatever it is. You know, I'm good. These are the things that I think about while I plunder dungeons, you know. I think about what a fictional gardener from a high-tech universe would be like taking care of plants. Oh, you dick. Oh, Lucky. Lucky? Tina, go get some food. Do the chickens have large talons? It's like $1 an hour. Go!
Vote for Pedro. Make sure Pedro gets his vote.
Tina. I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. Go!
Large sharpstone shard.
Sounds like some sort of like an Irish thing, like
Sharpstone shard.
oh, this guy's self-aware. He's sentient. Oh, I think we got something here. That was a good burp. Oh, crap. Oh, my God. Funny man, he do burp. All these guys are so bad. They're so bad. They're dead now. But, you know, they don't have to be dead. They can be a fictional dead. They can be like a I'm not really dead type of dead. And that type of dead is okay, because that's not really dead. It's like a fairy tale type of dead. They come back later on, you know, once I'm dead. But I'm not really dead either. I'm just a plaything in a video game, you know, killing things. And I'm not really killing, no, for, you know, lawsuit reasons. I'm not killing, you know, I'm just, I am putting an end to something that is crazy. Woof. But yes, for all intents and purposes, it is dead. This is a big hallway. Kind of reminds me of my ex. I'm sorry. I'm running through the well and wishes of the life that I do not understand. He did it. Holy crapola. We have opened the gates, we have opened the gates. Now I gotta go back up. And once I go back up, I'm going to open more gates, and more gates, and more gates. Until Bill Gates becomes more Gates Bill Gates. Bill Gates, Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Bill Gates. Who is Spider-Man? Spider-Man, Bill Gates' brother. Talking about the World Wide Web, if you know what I mean. And what am I talking about? What is a bird and a feather worth flocking together? What is a rhyme, a poem of 3, a poem of 2, a haiku? Haiku, do you want to make a haiku?
See, we're back in the first place that you started. Wang. Charles is a good name for a dog, but it's not necessarily a good name for a cat.
Imagine if you made a cat named Charles.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hello.
What are you doing?
Hello.
What are
I don't
you?
know.
What are you
What am I
playing?
doing? What am I doing? What am I playing?
Yeah,
This is called Demon Souls.
Demon
It's
Souls.
demons, as in the tense of the souls that are occupied or owned by another partner. Demons with a apostrophe s, not an apology s or anything like that. So
Oh,
no one knows what I'm talking about except myself. I don't even really know what I'm
it
talking
sounds fun.
about. No, it's not.
See? And that is... I don't know what just happened. Someone trying to just understand a video game that they're probably never going to play. Yeah, never know. Never know if you get a video game system. You can put it into your wall and charge it up and make a video game and play. Let's play the video game. It's called Demon Souls, as in the demons are occupied, that they have souls that are occupied through the demons, and that's not really a good thing in terms of Catholicism or anything like that, but, demons are pretty fun in terms of video games, and video games are just a way of disassociating from the real world, and you know what? That's perfectly fine as long as you can use the disassociation in order to do something to help yourself. And then you're not doing needless disassociation, and that's all completely fine. Or if you belong to an association, then you can just disassociate in front of those people, and they'll be like, okay, you need some help. And then after that, everything will be alright. 20 years down the line, something like that, when you don't have to worry about disassociation anymore, when all of a sudden you have this recipe for this great ice cream that you just came up with out of nowhere. It's like a butter pecan flavor, but with mint, which I guess really wouldn't be that bad. But if you honestly think about it, butter pecan, it's like a natural accident. It's like the thing didn't mean to get made. It's actually just another nut, but they made it anyway because it's just there. It never became extinct. So people have the butter and the pecan, and they put them together, and what do they get? They get butter pecan. Sometimes pecan butter. You know you're going to have a good time when you're killing demons. Yes, completely. Not in the sense that it's like a from dusk till dawn type of scenario, but maybe in the sense that you're killing demons type of scenario, just like we just said. It's just such a great time, especially when you can do it in the Lord's name, or maybe not. Maybe he doesn't want that associated with himself. Who knows? But or she, or they, or him, or whatever pronoun is good for God. But that's only something that God can answer. So, if God has... Oh, I wonder if there's anything written in the Bible about pronouns for God. That would be an interesting thing to look up. Like, if God does consider himself to be some sort of a pronoun. Maybe he is the one known as I am. I mean, maybe that is his pronoun completely. The one that is I am. I mean, I think that is how he kind of refers to himself in the Bible. The one that is I am. It kind of, if you think about it, it's almost like declaring that he is the Omega. And the Omega is him. He is just indivisible with everything that has a sentient type of, understanding, I guess you would say. There's gonna be some dogs. Excuse me for a second. I gotta fight some dogs. I just don't know where they are. They usually come by around now. That's what she said. I'm just feeling a little bit of energy today, so... Oh wait, maybe I already killed it. Yeah, I think I already killed it. Why do I sound like Will Sasso? Maybe I should talk a little bit deeper. Now I'm Will Sasso, if you know who that is. He's a comedian. He was in that really poor Ninja Turtles movie, and he was the guy that was opposite Megan Fox, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a really good guy. I stopped like killed like 6 guys in the effort to protect the name of the Ninja Turtles," and then later on he's like proven to be false. It's like he's a pretty poor character, and then he's pretty cool after that. He has many names and titles. Oh yeah, totally. A person that would be, or a person or thing that is of world renounce would definitely have many titles and things. Like sometimes I call myself Mr. Fantastic, but you know, I'm not a Marvel, if you know what I mean. Oh, but just because I have some energy tonight doesn't mean that you should suffer as a result. I mean, all I really want to do is just bring laughter and kindness to the masses, but I don't mean to make their asses deaf in the process. So I apologize for the lack of context within my speaking. I'm speaking in tongues almost. I'm just letting myself say whatever comes to mind, the first thing, even if it doesn't make sense. I mean, Dr. Seuss didn't make sense, did he? Did he? Dr. Seuss didn't make any sense, but at the same time he made perfect sense in a world that was of his own. And I think that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. That character stuck with me from the original Clerks. I think the actor's name was something Mosley, and he was just like with the producer or something like that, and his character would just walk onto the screen and just go, "That's beautiful, man." And like it implies in the end of the movie Clerks that he ate a dead man's junk. I enjoy your videos and your live. Oh, thank you for watching, brother. I've seen you around. I don't really get the chance to see you on my For You page that much because you don't really pop up very much. But I really should just type in your name and like come for a visit one of these days. You just kind of reminded me. You have interesting topics about how you really get into depth about Catholicism and stuff like that, and sometimes that's a really interesting topic to me because I like to believe in everything so that when I die, I'm not wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty much like polytheistic, but at the same time I was born Roman Catholic. So I like to believe that my purpose is to just basically live a good life. Because up until now, I've had nothing but stress and nothing but just really bad circumstances in my life that have brought me to be full of stress and just not in a good place for a lot of my life. And all I really want to do is just spread joy, spread laughter, spread as much cheer as possible. I've been kind of losing my pep lately, because I have heart failure. So basically, through me, I'm trying to make these green screen videos on my phone, and I don't really get the chance to do it that much more anymore because I'm just so tired lately. Oh, it's all good. At the end of the day, it's all really just a life. I believe in reincarnation to a certain extent, at least in the form of energy. And I believe that we will inhabit either one or multiple beings upon reincarnation, which is the state that I'm at currently right now, and just like everybody else alive is doing. We're just recycled energy, in my opinion. And once we die, the energy dissipates. It's almost like an electromagnetic field or something like that. If you were to think about it in scientific terms, it consists of something, but maybe it's just energy. And that energy, scientifically speaking, would inhabit multiple or one people. We're all conglomerates of each other, basically, if you think about it. Please let me not die. I would like nothing more than to just remain alive in this video game, and in real life too, if you want to get technical. I'm just doing my best to stay healthy on a daily basis with all of the circumstances that I have at my disposal. I've been waiting for disability for almost 2 years, and now I finally get the word that I have a court case coming up, so progress. All I really want to do is just better my circumstance with a really messed up set of cards that have already been dealt. And some people don't have that luxury. Maybe you're just too awesome for your heart, so your heart can't handle it. That's a good way of thinking about it. Very good way of thinking about it. I like to make joy where things seem their darkest. And in my darkest has been abuse at the hands of people that I thought I could trust. My family. And I realized in the worst way possible that even your family can be fallible to the annals of life. Remember that. Bookmark it. It's a quote by me. Save it into your lore of humanity and brain function. Because I am a lyrical genius that's looking for the pages of life to be recorded at the hands of others. I am not a prophet, but I do profit from helping people. Any way that I can. I'm surprised I got on Social Security the first time. Oh, you're on it as well? I've been hurt from just about every type of people. Same here. If you want my honest opinion, I think there's a lot of people in this world who are more lost than they'll give themselves credit for. And those people in my life turned out to be my parents, for the most part. Like, my mother's great, don't get me wrong. It's just my other parents, they were very lost and very controlling and just very... If I was a normal person, they would have been very rude and very nasty and very spiteful and easily agitated. And that type of people I just don't want in my life anymore. But at the same time, people don't really matter. Everyone's equal here. Even the Lord is equal with us. If you want to be technical, to be truly forgiving is to accept that you are no better than anyone else. And that's a quote that's not just from me, that's from the Bible even, just spoken in different words. Probably multiple times, probably about 600 times in different verses. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. You know, not spoken in the most appropriate words, you know, not the actual words, but I do know the verses, not verbatim. But I have studied the Bible. And I have to say, from what I've taken away from it, is already what I am born with as a good person. The knowledge that I am equal in the eyes of everything that is living, or potentially living. Nothing is better than me, and I am better than nothing. Fight Club said it best. I'm the all-knowing, all-dancing crap of the world. And just because I say it's crap doesn't mean that I literally am crap. I'm just something that doesn't have the form of anything other than what it is written in the Bible or said by me or said by a person who knows the best in order to classify what I personally am, which is me. Which also boils down to the thought that psychologist, the best one is the one that's right inside yourself. Same way that you can talk to yourself is the same way that the Lord speaks to you, through subconscious signs that you can interpret on your own to fit your own meaning. The Bible, basically, to me, means live your own life. But you know what? Here's a code, and we can share it. And if you don't want to follow it, that's completely fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But if you do, I guarantee you're going to have a good life. And that's what I thought about the Bible, and that's what I gathered from it. If you were to put it into a one-sentence thing and a meaning, is that he gives you examples, God, or whoever wrote the Bible, and it's in his own words, King James or whatever. What you put into your life is what you get out of it. He gives you examples of things that he had done in order to make people have a better life and himself had a better life, and show people that he was a good person, and show ways of not being a good person, and show ways of not being a bad person. But at the same time, it's like the God that you know can only show you the way by giving you the true balance of belief. Sorry, just drinking my tea here. I used to hate my dad when I was younger. Same here, actually. If you didn't want to share, you don't have to, but why did you hate him? I know I have my own reasons too, but I think it would better help me understand you as a person if you were to let me know why, because just by that one answer, you could tell me exactly what you went through and the struggles you went through, and it can show me the character of you based off of your answer. I'm really good with psychology and human understanding and human comprehension and human interaction. It's like a power for me. I can just instantly think of the answers to certain things based off of what I can gather from the current information. I'm really good at deductive reasoning when it comes to neurological pathways and understanding how to fix mental states. Now, excuse me for a second. I'm probably going to die here. Very horribly. But I am going to try this boss. And let's see what happens. This is going to be a little bit challenging. Get the right stuff out. I'm not going to need a shield. Woo! Right off the bat. No, sir. That is a spider. Oh, we know it's a spider. Thanks for telling me. Oh, the fire does absolutely nothing. Okay, and now I'm hit with web again. Let me go. Come on. I want to go. I want to just go up and hit him. Oh, yeah. Slam me, okay? Yell at me, okay? Anybody ever see Matilda? I'm very open, so it don't bother me. That's good to know. It's good to have people that are open and around the world, other than people are so closed off because of psychosis and things like that. You just, like, disassociation. I disassociate all the time. Like, it's something that I actually believe to be a real superpower. I think it to be a way of dealing with abuse and grief and a perfect defense mechanism for handling the grief process. It's a way that you can just take a break from yourself, kind of. It's pretty cool, actually, the way the human mind works. It has its own built-in cooling towers and, like, stuff like that. Oh, getting pretty close here. If he would stop slamming me, like my 5th grade teacher. Crapola. Crap. I'm dead. Ooh, I saved myself there. That was awesome. See, this guy's a little bit difficult because he's constantly barraging you with stuff. And then he ends up slowing you down with the whole, like, web solution, kind of like Spider-Man. And then he slams you like a little baby because he doesn't know what else to do with his time. You know, you're actually the first person that actually told me that they actually like my videos. Throughout the entire 2 years that I've been on TikTok, I've never had anybody tell me that they like my videos. Like, never openly say, like, I really like your videos. I've never had any feedback whatsoever. But I just keep doing it because I don't have anything else to do. Because I hated myself. Oh man. Not being around to teach me things, being hateful at times and disrespectful to my mom, and probably because I hated myself, and I was always quit until Jesus changed me over a year ago. Now I talk all the time. Well, you know what? It's fine to be closed off sometimes, because if you weren't closed off, you would be openly dealing with the stuff that your mind is not yet ready to handle. And you close yourself off. Oh yeah, I understood what you meant. Quiet. But you would be closing yourself off from basically, no, not closing yourself off, but opening yourself up to all of the things that your mind is not yet ready to handle. And that can be very difficult for a kid, or even a young adult, even a man, to deal with. Especially when you don't really have a break from the abuse. Especially like me. Like, I never had a break for 25, 26 years from all the crap that my father, my stepmother, my brother, my stepfather, my mom's husband, sometimes my mom, and then friends, other family, like aunts and uncles and stuff like that, and like family that was like of my stepmother's family. Like, I never had a break from any of them. And then once I didn't see them on a daily basis, they just made like I didn't exist, and I never heard from them again. It's like all these people can talk a big talk, but if I were to confront them about it and try to hold them accountable, they would probably crumble. And that's the truth. Some people do not want to be held accountable, and unfortunately the people that need the accountability in my life will never be held accountable. It's very sad, honestly. People always made fun of me, saying I was going to shoot up the place because I was so quiet. That's just a stereotype that people use after the whole, that school thing that happened a while back. I'm not going to name it, which I would never even hurt a fly. Yeah, just like Norman Bates. No, I'm just kidding. That's like me. People in high school thought I was the quiet kid, when in actuality, I just really didn't have anything to say. So, I think they're barking up the wrong tree there. Or if I were to say that in Canadian, I think they're barking up the wrong tree there. Or if I were to say in Russian, hi! Renowned Hero Soul, Iron Demon Soul, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use that too. LOL. Yep. Yep. I made another character that I had basically beaten the game with, and then my wife made like 17 characters and wanted to wipe out the game characters in this, and because once you make a character, you can't delete it. It stays there permanently, so you're just opening file after file if you're really just trying to make new characters and stuff. And so I ended up wiping my character out for her, so that way she could have like a fresh slate. And I really like the character, but this one I like actually a lot more. He's basically an orc. His name is Molag Goshrub, like a Skyrim orc. So I thought it was a pretty interesting idea, and I'm sure not many people have made an orc in a Demon Souls game before. So I am done here. The next place I would have to go is here, but I'm going to see if I can level up my weapon anymore. Oh, I need one more Sharpstone Shard. And that's an upgrade material in order to level up the weapon. I'm going to have some more of this tea. I made some green tea with a little hazelnut and 2 stevia. And it is the greatest thing that has happened since unsliced bread. Oh, that's cool. So you played it between systems, sort of. The thing that I thought was kind of disappointing about this game was that even back in the day when this game first came out on PlayStation 3 before the remastered, the bosses even then were so easy. Back then when it came out, I was just a little kid, so I never really had an idea of video games. You know, like, I understood, like, Blood Will Tell. That was a game where this baby, like, had parts of his body taken when he was just a baby, and this prosthesis maker, kind of like in Sekiro, came up with, like, different body parts for him. Like, he gave him, like, swords for hands and stuff like that. And, that game had pretty fun gameplay. And then the next thing after that was basically Demon Souls and a few other small games in between there. Cool, yeah. Cool, yeah. I am cool. I am cool. You know, I don't believe in vanity. I don't believe in lust. You know, I'm just a strictly married man. Like, you know, I'd been with other people before I met my wife and stuff like that, but I kind of felt like I was born again when I met my wife. Because she has problems of her own. So that means that I can help hold her up in the places where I used to not be able to. Like, I can help her now that I've helped myself. And I almost feel, like, reverent in the fact that I'm able to give somebody hope, I guess you would say, that they can have a better future for themselves. It's a good feeling. The problem with me is that I have what's called a 1,000-yard stare. It's where, when I'm kind of like disassociating and thinking about all the stuff that I've struggled with over the course of my life, people can look me in the face and just not, like, you see me be completely vacant, if you can believe it. I have like a vacant stare sometimes, and I have to sometimes force myself in order to feel more alive, I guess you would say, because abuse really sucks. It really sucks. It's not fun. Anybody who's been through it knows it. And it takes, like, if you didn't really have a childhood, it takes that away from you, and it's just hard, man. People say, like, oh, you know, you never made anything with your life. Well, look at the life that I had. Look at the cards that I was dealt. I did a lot with my life, despite having a mental illness that makes me depressed all the time. I'm the same way. I always have my head in the clouds. I guess you could say that for myself too, but over the course of about like 15 years or something, I've been working on myself in my own private time. And myself has constantly been changing for the past 15, 20 years. And I'm the strongest that I've ever been mentally, but physically, I'm the weakest I've ever been. It's interesting how the cards kind of get dealt that way sometimes. It's take a moment of silence for our former selves. And moment of silence is done. Wasn't technically a minute. Probably about 30 seconds, maybe 35 seconds. You know what? It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that you can be quiet for a former self of you that would have been completely vulnerable and innocent in thinking that they were loved when they were a child. At least I always thought that I was. When in actuality, the people that I thought loved me were thinking other nefarious purposes at the time, trying to get things over on me, and make me feel like I was worthless just because they didn't like me. Because I was too innocent. The duality of man in this situation is that there is no duality in man. There's only a duality in person. No one is ever held accountable that does not know their actions have been volatile. That's so despicable. Most despicable thing, and you know what? They'll come a-calling when the rapture happens. For the people that didn't try hard enough. Just simply because they didn't want to. Not because they had any reason to. And you know what? That's choice. Choice based on the information given. That leads you to believe that you are alive. Instead of in just the construct of a reality that you don't understand. Truly alive when you feel the adrenaline of life. The happy side of life. The side that makes you keep going and strive for the happiness that you never had until you felt that moment. You know what? I don't know what. That's the point. Who cares? Live your life. Maybe do it with a little bit of happiness. Isn't it so much happier when you're not arguing, starting fights, causing a ruckus? This thing is gonna blow up and it's gonna happen right in front of me. Yay, it did. I'm just talking out of my my rear end. I can join your live if that makes it easier to talk. Sure. If you would like to, that would be awesome. It would be good to actually share the mic with a fellow Christianity rapper. Yo, my name is God. I lost my key fob. Can't get into my car. My car, that is heaven. Hello, my name is Devin. It's Greek for God. Only because it rhymed with heaven. Devin. When you're talking out of your butt, remember that you are so... I don't know. This thing takes so many hits to kill, it's so annoying. Like... Oh wait, I think I see this plus guest request. Sure, sounds good. Oh wait, I think I see this plus guest.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. How you doing?
Good yourself?
Let me see if I'm echoing. Okay, I didn't hear an echo. Awesome.
Am I echoing?
Well, for a second I was echoing, then I realized your voice sounds so much like mine.
All right. Yeah, I've been laughing the whole time, but yeah, I feel like
Oh, really?
society's standard on things are so screwed up.
I hope I was making like any kind of sense when I was talking, because this is just me when I have no filter and I'm just going on autopilot. So
Yeah,
I hope I was making some kind of sense. I think I was making tremendous sense, but only others could be the judge.
yeah, I think you were making complete total sense because like the way I feel, like if you really think about it, people think life is about working and succeeding. Like seriously, how sad that really is. Like you wake up, have breakfast, go to work, come back, do whatever, then the same routine over and over. It's like, how is that life?
It's
I feel
about
like,
it's about improving the part of yourself that is able to experience. And
yeah,
if you can experience things in such a way where yourself does not cloud the situation, then you can have a really good life.
yeah,
And I think that's all life is about. is just improving the part of yourself that can make experience getting better.
Yeah, it's like try not to
Even
feel
if it's
too
even if
bad.
it's a bad experience, if 20 years later, after you're in the hospital for a heart attack, like I was, if you just get out of the hospital 20 years later, you're having a great time, and then all of a sudden you start remembering the hospital and you think back on it, and it's all the theory of relativity in absolute action, is that those experiences, even though bad at the time, are fond in the future because it was an experience.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel because even though those hard times were like really bad, like I learned a lot from them, and like it got me to grow a little bit more.
That's great, bud. That's awesome. I wish I could say the same thing for a lot of my life, but a lot of my life has been full of turmoil. I haven't had a break in over 25 years, except for right now when I'm playing a video game.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I feel the same way. Unfortunately, like you wouldn't believe like some of the stuff I've been through.
like it's almost like having micro breaks. You know what I mean? Once in a while, you
Yeah,
get some reprieve.
but yeah, I'm
It is
pretty
what it
open
is,
about
though.
my experiences if you ever want to know.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm like an open book. You can just explain to your heart's content, and I'll listen.
All right, I guess I'll start with like more recent stuff. So, um, okay, so I was married for 6 years, and the
I'm
last
sorry.
three of it was the worst that it ever was. Uh,
First of
she
all, I'm
was.
sorry.
It's okay.
Not
Like
because
I,
not because it turned out poor, but because you were married.
yeah.
That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm just kidding.
Which
Trying to
kind
bring
of
some
sucked
levity
because
into
even
it.
at a young age, like I always wanted to get married, have kids, and it could turn, for me at least, it turned into a complete nightmare. She was just so narcissistic, and a lot of family members seeing all this stuff going on, what she was doing to me, like keeping me in the house, watching four kids by myself, while she would go out and go to friends, and I wasn't going to friends at all, and constantly screaming when I'm sleeping in bed. And I'm from Ohio, and especially a very corrupt justice system in Ohio, which is Wood County, which is uh, get off a little off topic for a bit, but like it's pretty bad when even lawyers don't like dealing with Wood County. Like she pinned everything on me. I got arrested, and um, it's pretty bad when like very people obviously that deserve to be in jail like we're saying, hey, you don't deserve to be here. You're so nice, and I was talking to everyone, and but yeah, like there was so much going on. She was lying, trying to get me to lie, and using people for money and stealing and just all kinds of craziness. And I even have like spiritual encounters with that. Like I straight up woke up in the middle of the night, like, and she was staring at me with black, like pure black eyes. And there was times I woke up, I saw a demon around her, like looking at me, and all kinds of weird stuff on top of it. But anyways, like she's been she was also using the kids against me, saying stop smoking cigarettes or I'm going to take the kids. If you take the
That's
car and
just a
leave,
cop
'cause
out.
sorry if I'm talking too much. Like I feel like I'm talking too much already.
No, I want you raw and unfiltered, so that way I can understand everything.
Yeah, and I don't sugarcoat the things like I did either, which we'll probably get to that eventually. But like,
You never should.
yeah,
Sugarcoating things only lies to other people and yourself.
yeah, because with all that going on, uh, her screaming at me all the time, which it is a form of torture. Like I was in bed, dead asleep, being woke up to screaming, and now she's lying about keeping the kids away from me. Like it's court ordered to where I see them every Saturday, and I haven't seen my kids in a year, and Now, come to find out, something's going on with my daughter, and she has leukemia, a rare form of leukemia.
And you don't know
And
about it until recently.
yeah, like till
That's
recently,
awful.
at first we didn't know, doctors didn't know what it was, but I just recently found out she was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. And um,
From what I can tell, from what you've told me so far, it seems like she should be held accountable for keeping her away from you.
yeah, it's like I uh, tried to warn people and even stick up to her in court, and it's like the lawyer she has, like they both tried to pin everything on me, and my lawyer is worthless. Like he's not doing anything for me, and I'm gonna report it, report his butt to the bar association. But but I think I try to look at the positive side. Like even though all these bad things, like I still have a smile on my face and still treat people with respect and love.
Just make sure through all of this that you're putting out to other people, make sure that you're giving it to yourself back just as much. Even though Catholicism isn't exactly karma and isn't exactly Buddhism in that regard, there is a lot of karma in the Bible, and
Yeah,
everything should really be honest and balanced scales. And sometimes doing the right thing can mean lying to yourself,
yeah,
and just make sure you're not doing that.
yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty open and honest, even with myself. Like there's a seems to be a voice sometimes saying like I'm worthless and it was all my fault or whatever, but it's like no, it was both of us.
That's
Like
partly your conscience. That's partly your
yeah,
conscience, my brother. If you're doing that to yourself, that means that you're trying to weigh up the options. You're trying to tell yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? That's how your conscience makes you know if you're doing the right or wrong thing according to your own personal standards. And that means that you have a good mind. That means that you're a good person. That means that you feel everything that you should be feeling in your own personal situation that you're going through.
yeah, and it was scary there for a while. Like I have bipolar type 2, anxiety and PTSD is getting scary to the point where my thoughts were become like if I keep messing up, uh, like I should, if I keep sinning or whatever, like I should just take myself out of this world. And
That just means that you're over empathic. And you know what?
yeah,
That's not a bad thing. Crap, I just died.
and what got me through all that situation was getting closer, like the closest I ever been to God, and that's what got me through.
That's good. Some people believe that believing in God is just a construct that can get you through matters of personal travesty and tragedy. And I think that to a certain extent it's true, is that even if you don't believe 100%, you can still use God for your own purposes, and that's what He's there for, in order to help you overcome situations that you normally wouldn't be able to overcome by yourself.
Yeah,
It's like another consciousness that you can create in order to take some of the burden off your own shoulders.
yeah, because I straight up love the verses where it says, like give your worries to Him and anxieties, like talk to Him about it. There's so many
Yeah.
verses like that.
See, when I was just a kid, you know how some kids have imaginary friends growing up and
Yeah,
stuff like that? I had an imaginary friend that I called Bobby. And today, I kind of think that Bobby was God in a certain aspect, or at least my version of God that I came up with, because that imaginary friend did better than any actual friend was able to do because Bobby was inside of me. It was my own creation. And God is inside of all of us. So you can say it's the same thing.
yeah, I could believe it. Like He can really use like just about anything He can to do His will.
Yeah. And you can use any belief to overcome any struggle.
Now I'm also into like superheroes and like I love anime and stuff. Like I'm always daydreaming about saving people and like actually doing that stuff.
That's good. I guess the scales of karma are good because I just died. Talking about saving people and I just died. Save me. Yeah, I sometimes worry to myself that I'm like creepy or something because I have such like a solemn stare sometimes, almost like Ghost Rider. Like I could like do the penance stare if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's because like I don't know. It's like well everything just like lost its luster for me in the world, and that's to me I guess good because it makes me see what the world actually is, and I can forego expectations and just do what I want, really. Not to hurt anyone, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I didn't want to hog the spotlight here.
Uh, well, it's kind of your page. Like you can say whatever you want.
I'm here to listen to you, man. I'm doing all the. I'm doing. I was doing some of the talking before, so now it's your time. Everybody
Yeah,
is
like
just as important as everybody else.
one way I always like to spend time is just seeing if I can do like voices and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure I got Beavis and Butthead down to a T, but it
Who do you
takes
do
me.
better?
I could do a really good Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I do Beavis the best. I mainly got down Butthead's voice, laugh instead. I still have to work on his voice.
Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with doing them live?
Yeah. This is how I usually do it. Like, TV bunghole, bunghole.
Holy crap, dude! That's actually really awesome.
It always
That's
takes
probably
me some time.
the best impression I've seen next to Mike Judd.
But yeah, I always struggle a little bit to do Arnold because it's been so long. But I could do it pretty, like a very good one.
You just get you get started with get to the chopper, and then after that, it just becomes like second nature.
Get to the chopper. Put the cookie down. I gotta hear myself.
It's getting there, really. The only critique that I would say is maybe just hold off a little bit on the type of stuff,
Yeah, it
and
just
try
makes
to
it so
just be a little
funny.
bit more straight because you'll actually surprise yourself when you get to do it a little bit more straight. You'll actually really surprise yourself with your ability to do an Austrian accent.
Yeah. I
Because
just like
if you can already do that, then you already have most of the job done.
another favorite line from one of his movies is like, "It's not the tumor."
Kindergarten Cop. I grew up on his movies. I used television and movies and stuff like that as a crutch when I was dealing with the worst part of my depression.
Yeah, it's the same way. Like, I basically, you remember the Robin Williams movie Jack?
Yes.
I learned how to shave from watching that movie.
You know, when they were making that stew, you could say that that was the early workings of the scheme that Bill Cosby had. You know, because he was in that movie and he was making some potions that ended up bringing the house down.
I never thought.
Well, imagine what he was trying to do to those poor kids.
Yeah. But yeah, I was
That was a little awkward, actually. Pardon me.
like trivia and stuff. Like, man, like I kick so much ass. Just like trivia games and stuff when it comes to movies. I'm a
You
huge
mind if I
movie
ask
buff.
you how old are you? If you wouldn't mind me asking, you don't have to self-identify, but just let me
32.
know if you don't. 32? I'm 33 or 34 now. Just turned 34 in October.
Yeah, it's funny because my birthday is October 1st.
Oh, nice. I'm the 11th.
So many ones. Hey, oh, that's so weird.
We
'Cause,
even
like,
have a very similar voice.
yeah, it's so weird because like there's 3 1s, and I've been seeing the number 3 of things like constantly, which is the number
Maybe
of
there will
God.
be one more of us out there somewhere. Or maybe you could put the cookie down like that. That's the worst. This is the best that I could do.
It's
Like
okay.
right off the hat.
Like
But
I said, it takes me some time to get his voice down anymore because it's been so
Oh, I
long.
gotta raise this. I used to do this thing here, and let me see if it still works. Raise this. Crap, one got on. Alright, so I'm gonna have to kill one. But the other one should walk right down the, and die.
Yeah.
Fall right through the elevator hole. Battery this low. Battery. But what, I don't even know what I was about to ask you. Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess my
brain
heart is
farting,
worse than I
like-
thought.
Oh, okay. Like I remembered another voice I could do. You remember Inspector Gadget?
Yes.
Um,
Claw.
yeah, I could do Claw pretty good. But
Let's both fight each other. Fight with each other in Claw's voice.
okay.
You want me to start, or do you want to start?
I really don't know how to start.
Okay, so probably because this has never been done before. So I'll start off by making some sort of an insult to you that has to do with the Inspector Gadget universe, and then you try to get back at me with it, in Claw's voice in return. So,
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
That's way much better than mine. That-
You just put me
Crap.
to shame. Everyone has shame, you moron.
Oh crap! That was messed up. That one was awful. You know, the same guy that did the original Claw voice from the cartoon was actually the same guy who did the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah,
Please
he
don't
was,
kill me.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Just a
I
little
used to be
useless
able to
trivia.
do so many voices, but I can't remember them now.
Don't worry. Don't put yourself on the spot. It'll come to you. Let it happen.
Because I always
It kind of
felt
sounds like I'm a turd whisperer. It'll come to you. Let it happen.
yeah, like today, like especially, like I've been seeing your videos left and right, and I've been laughing at every single one of them.
Oh, really? That's awesome, man. I never have get any opinions on it, so I have no idea if I'm funny or not.
Maybe all I could think is maybe on your videos, put, hey, give me your opinion on how I'm doing.
Oh, okay. I think that would kind of take away from the majesty. That's why I don't do it. Sometimes I think like I'm creepy or something, which is like why I've been on TikTok for 2 years and I don't get any views. But like, I don't know. Then I think to myself like, oh, wait, I can't be creepy. You know, like I didn't do anything that was creepy, so why should I feel like I'm creepy or something? Some people just like they make fun of you like for no reason, and it's kind of like hurtful sometimes.
It just made me think of. It just popped into mind because that's how my memory works sometimes. Like I'll be reminded of something and it'll just pop in my head.
I guess that's
one
what
time-
she said.
One time, I used to love doing poems and stuff, and I accidentally posted it.
Was that her name? Sorry, continue.
It's okay. I do that stuff all the time. Like my group of friends, you would fit in perfectly. Like,
Oh,
But
so you're
anyways,
saying that?
like-
So you're saying I'm overweight or something?
no, no. Like your sense of humor and your way of.
Oh, I thought you
thinking.
meant I would fill in a gap. Okay.
No, no. But anyways, like I used to write poems all the time, and I accidentally posted it on. Back then, it was called Vampires Freaks. Someone got on my page and commented, "Oh, I was going to make fun of you for your poems, but I seen your username, so I'm not going to." It's like people will literally look for reasons to just bring you down.
Oh yeah, bring you down to Chinatown, pretty much. That basically means you have to look at people like a grain of salt. Is that if you wouldn't say it to yourself, then why should somebody else saying it to you matter?
Yeah.
It's only somebody else's opinion. And you know other people's opinion are just bad. So
Yeah.
why does it matter?
Yeah, it's
Other people have different opinions based off of their own life that they've already lived themselves. And it's not your life. Your poetry matters to you because it's something that screamed from your soul when you put it down on paper.
Yep.
And if it's from your soul, that means that it is valid. And that means that it's more valid than other people would be in that situation because it's yours. It's something that screamed from you.
Yeah, it's like no
And I
one
would
can.
really like to hear it.
It's been so long, like I can't remember.
Who cares? Who cares? Do it. Like Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
But yeah,
Pretend you're Sam Elliott. You know, man, I think you better read your poem in front of everybody because it would be the cool thing to do, partner. You know, talking to Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. You know, 1 minute I'm talking to you and I'm telling you I'm going to sit in the bar, and the next thing I got a knife in my chest.
do you ever see Green Mile?
Yeah, boss.
Yes, balls.
Let me touch your crotch. Please, anyone that's listening in, just please know that's not a come on. That's a quote from the movie.
Could you imagine if the dude from Scary Movie did that part? This is my strong hand. Let me heal your crotch.
I could picture that. You know what? I could picture it so much that I would like some cream pie with a little hand in it. I thought that was honestly like the second worst out of all the scary movies. I thought the first worst was like 5. I think like if that's the one that had like Saw and like Shaquille O'Neal and like whoever like sitting down and like playing a game of whatever inside of the Saw thing, and like that one was awful. It was worse than Disaster Movie, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty sure I watched them all, but I definitely seen like a downfall in the movies.
Yeah, the last good movie that I saw, in my opinion, was Airplane. I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
That's what was the actor's name? Wesley Nielsen
Leslie
or
Nielsen.
whatever. He's
He was great. He was great in
especially in
Creepshow.
Naked Gun.
Oh yeah, Naked Gun was good too. In my opinion, I actually liked all 3 of them. Naked Gun,
Yeah.
22nd, 2 and a 22nd or whatever, and then 33 and a third. They were all pretty good.
I'm also a huge fan of Chris Farley.
What are you talking about? I can't really do his voice that much, but
That was a good start.
it's the first time I ever tried it. I couldn't do it. I actually, speaking of Chris Farley, I just made a David Spade in Elden Ring earlier today for some reason. He just accidentally became made. It's almost like this is almost like a podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like I can't find my way out of here. It's crazy. In the game, like I have no idea where I'm going. It's kind of like life. Sometimes in life you don't know where you're going. But you know what? Who cares? Stay lost.
Do you ever play question games with your friends?
Only when they don't make sense and I have to start asking them questions. Because you know why it doesn't make sense? Because I really don't have many friends.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. The less friends means less problems. But at the same time, it's fine by me because I'm completely fine by myself. I ended up becoming so strong that I didn't have to worry about anybody else being in my life. I didn't have to rely on anybody as a crutch. So I'm cool.
Well, all I could say is, like, I hope that we become friends. I don't have a lot of friends either.
Listen, bud, you can chat me up anytime I come live. Doesn't matter, rain or
Right
shine.
back at
Because
you. But
obviously, if we're talking live, we're going to be inside. So,
that's what she said.
because of Wi-Fi stuff.
But yeah, I got a question for you then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In a zombie
Bless you.
apocalypse, if you could choose any five people, and that could be anime characters or whatever, who would you want to survive with? And this is a two-parter.
The Juggernaut.
That's one.
And you said 3, right?
Five altogether.
5. Okay, 5. So that would be the Juggernaut. Magneto with his hover chair, just because they're technically brothers, and they would probably use their dissemination of character in order to help fight better. Um, I would choose myself about 5 years in the future. Um, I would choose the building from the video "Don't Be Racist, I Am a Building." Um, and the last one would be Jack the Ripper, just because I'd be able to find out who it is.
That's some pretty intense people. Okay,
Oh yeah.
now the zombie apocalypse is over, and you're literally the only people alive. Like, what all would you do?
First thing I would do is make my way to a Whole Foods. Um, because I guarantee you Whole Foods would have like completely stocked shelves because nobody knows how to get to a Whole Foods. So I think people would probably go to other places first beside a Whole Foods, and I would have a lot of things to stock up on.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can think of? Like, I could give you some of
Um,
my friends' answers, because some of them
I'd
are.
try to find some chocolate pudding.
I said, for my answers, I said, like, I'll just get on the tallest building I can and just throw random shit down there. And my buddy said he would run around naked and shoot rockets, like atom bombs and all kinds of stuff. And
I think I would. I think I'd probably find my ex's house and um, I don't know, pee or something.
has to say, like, piss all over it or something.
Well, I mean that's the thing because my ex is a toilet, so. No, not an R. Kelly type of toilet, but you know, an R.
Definitely
Kelly
not like
type of toilet is a
bidet or
toilet
anything
nobody
like
wants to visit.
that. Just a potty of a person.
Pretty much, got all that blue liquid inside of her.
Trying to think of like other questions, but usually the questions we
Okay, so
kind of do is food questions or whatever.
I almost died. It was awful. It was an awful experience. There was this guy Chan.
Sorry, I'm watching.
No, I don't want to leave this world. Ooh, how'd you hit me from behind? Let's see. Zombie apocalypse. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I would probably still eat just as healthy as I am now, just because I actually like the taste of healthy food better. Um, so that would be kind of a weird choice to make. Like if I was the end of the world and there was no purpose anymore, I think I would still eat healthy.
Yeah.
It's something I've wondered about. Like if I didn't have anything to worry about, or let's just say I had like 1 minute to left to live, and I had to have one last meal, would I eat something healthy or not?
Hmm. Something to think about.
Food is what helps us sustain ourselves. So I mean, at least it's a big question for me. What would I eat if there was the end of the world? Probably anything I can get my hands on, to be honest.
Okay, if you were a superhero, what kind of powers would you have?
I have thought of that a lot. Um, something. Uh, I don't know. That's. I mean, I have thought about that a lot, but I can never come up with a real determination. You want to go first?
Um, I'm a huge like Spider Man and Ghost Rider, so because I feel like the way people view Spider Man, he's so much stronger than what people actually realize. Because he uh, not only there's different kind of Spider Man in the universe, like I couldn't decide which one to pick from, but I would love to be like if I was because like there's Cosmic Spider. I think I would love to be Cosmic Spider, like
Almost
type of
like Miles
hero.
Morales, or the actual like Spider-Man 3000.
Do you know of the Cosmic Spider?
I've never read that particular one, but if he's at all like the powers of Electro, I think then I might know the character because there was a version of
He's
Spider-Man that had the powers of Electro.
eventually Peter Parker gets some type of new, I think it was some type of new element, and puts it, uh, gets radiated with it somehow, and he basically becomes a Superman-esque. He can fly, and he's pretty sure he can't die, and he literally punches Hawk into space.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think having the power maybe to I don't know. Oh God. Maybe the power to regenerate at will would be pretty interesting.
I could see certain people regenerating multiple body parts. Like, I'm pretty sure you know where I'm
Well,
going
if
at
you're
with
a
that.
Spider-Man villain, all you have to do is go see a Lizard, and you can make that happen.
Yeah, but man, that's like a hard decision because there's so many good powers and like characters to choose from.
I don't know. If I were to take on the cosmic powers of anybody, I think it would be um, to be Galactus's herald would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
At least you would know that you're not going to be the victim of a planet annihilation, and you're going to have like at least a place that you can call your own at the seat of Galactus, one of the mightiest beings in the Marvel universe.
have you ever
Maybe I can
heard
even
of?
gain an audience with the one above all or something. Talk to
Have
Stanley.
you ever heard of one of the scenarios where Ghost Rider gets a spirit of vengeance? He becomes the Ghost Rider, and they call it the deal with three devils. He, obviously he makes a deal with the devil to get Ghost Rider powers, but then um, he goes out looking for Thanos. He runs into Galactus, then he becomes the Herald. Then he also goes to Thanos and works with him and gets powers through him, and they wipe out the whole galaxy.
Do you remember in your Holiness of Holies? Do you remember if who Thanos' brother was? I completely forget his name, but he was a character that didn't look like Thanos. I can't remember for the life of me, and I have no. Oh, that was really cool. I just dodged that arrow like by picking up an item.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm a little
though,
understudied on Marvel, to be totally honest. Like, I actually took a little bit of a back seat when Marvel started doing all this crap with, like, She-Hulk and stuff like that. I honestly didn't like the whole She-Hulk formula. Some people did, but I think you have to be a die-hard Disney fan.
I like certain
maybe
aspects of it.
be like someone who's woke, I guess.
Like, I did feel like I agree with both sides of the argument. Like, I did feel at times like they had an agenda to push, and it's like, man, like, just tell the story, like, just get to it, because like, I'm tired of hearing about certain things like all the time. I just want to watch a good TV show.
I'm even really fine with the whole gender swapping thing. I think that's a pretty good idea sometimes to try to like change the roles and the genders, like sometimes depending on the character. Like, you obviously can't do it with Blade, because Blade is, it kind of goes into the story of like masculinity and the need for leeching onto people and stuff like that. It's a very like honest moral of a story, Blade.
Yeah.
And I think I really hope they tell it well.
Yeah, I don't care much for that kind of stuff either. If they want to do that, they can. It's their story to tell. But I also understand people's arguments on it. Like, some black people want original characters. Like, they feel like they're getting like basically sloppy seconds. Like, I agree with like when people say that.
Yeah. I don't really appreciate Disney original characters, though, that are not of the original source material. I think they just take a liberty with the character creation that usually doesn't turn out proper. And it doesn't even really seem engaging. It's just kind of something that somebody came up with, and it really doesn't feel like it's going off of any source material, which kind of turns me off.
Yeah, because there's also, like, even though we were talking about, like, Disney, I was kind of thinking of, like, everything in general, because they're now doing it with Scooby-Doo characters and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be clear.
I just heard about that recently. I mean, it's fine. Maybe it's just a different universe. You know how, like, Disney universes kind of collide sometimes? Maybe this is just a different universe, like Universe 101 Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. It's just, what I always did. If I heard complaints about it, like, I'm still going to watch and enjoy the movie or whatever. Like, I don't really... Like, I just want to have my own opinion on things.
Yeah, you're just like me. You're non-judgmental.
Yeah.
I'm only judgmental to the point where it insults my my way of thinking, and not a way of thinking in terms of like the agenda that they're trying to push, but just how I think about the character that they're trying to portray. And does it make sense? Does it, have any value? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I really wished that they would have made Freakazoid into a movie. That would have been fantastic. Here's a question for you. What maybe series or show or something like that from your childhood do you wish that they would have made into a series or movie or something like that? Something that never even got the
Uh,
time of day.
it only took me a second to think of that as Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge
Something
diehard Metal Gear
Jordan's
Solid.
the director Jordan something Voight has actually came out recently and had a very short interview with Oscar Isaac, who is supposedly going to be playing Solid Snake, at least as he is on the agenda for now. And he said that they're searching for a script and for a producer and stuff like that. They have a producer that's working right now, but they want to put a bigger name producer on it so that way they can get more funding for the movie. Because as
Yeah,
of right
straight up.
now, as of right now, the only funding that they have is for an animated feature, and they want it to be live action.
That's awesome. Yeah, like the whole thing, I've been kind of holding my breath. Like I'm not gonna hold my breath. Like there's so many
I think his name
promises
is
like
Jordan
throughout the
Voight
years.
Roberts. That's what I think is Jordan Voight Roberts is I think his name. He seems like he's a pretty good director, but like he's actually trying to stay close to this the source material and make some sort of a new storyline that would fit the movie universe.
Yeah.
Something like Shadow Moses or something like that.
Yeah, straight up. My favorite character has always been Gray Fox, and that was my username on here, but I changed it to this.
I came to appreciate Psycho Mantis as well in the story. Is
Oh
that
yeah,
he wasn't doing it for his own personal satisfaction. He was basically just doing it because it fit his agenda, and he was kind of like controlled in terms of his mind based off of his experience in battle and whatever stuff that changed
yeah,
him over the course of his tenure as Psycho Mantis.
yeah. Because straight up, one of my favorite lines from Gray Fox is like, "We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Like at least I fought and he dies, so fought and died for what I believe in."
Frank Yeager.
Yep. Or he's also referred to as Null.
I really resonated with that game series when I was growing up because
So
it's so original. Like the original
yeah,
idea from that is taken from the Guns of Navarone, Escape from New York. So many different sources were taken in order to make this one idea, and it made it original. And it's not very often that you see things that are original these days.
yeah. That's why I love.
I mean, we're on TikTok right now. I mean, that's the most unoriginal place that you can be.
I straight up love Hideo Kojima games. Like
Me
they're
too.
all original.
Me personally, my opinion, I wasn't really too crazy about Death Stranding. Although I thought it was very beautiful. It just wasn't really like my idea of like a story that I'd be into.
it, it's like, man, leave it up to him to make. This is how I feel. Like leave it up to him to make a delivery service guy like a badass.
Yeah, it's almost like that movie Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right now in the game, for anybody that's watching, I'm just trying to get materials so that I can move on. I like to stock up my moon grasses. I've been playing video games for like most of my life.
Oh, that's so weird because I was gonna say the same thing just now.
I had the
Yeah,
first system I ever played was an Atari. That was back in probably like when I was about like 2 or 3, and I actually, believe it or not, I beat ET on the Atari before there was even a guide released. It was like 1 year after the game was officially released onto the Atari 5200, and it was originally on the original Atari, like the first model that came out. And before they even made a guide for it, I beat it. I'm like one of the lucky ones that didn't get sucked into the universe of crap games because of that.
did you ever play on the Atari hide and seek?
The one that was like haunted house.
Yeah, you just like the first. It's a two-player game. Like the person that's seeking has to close their eyes, and uh, in game, the person hiding, you can hide anywhere throughout the house. Then when the
Oh
game
yeah, I
starts,
think
the
I have
person.
played that.
Yeah.
My brother was
Yeah.
like a walking nightmare growing up. I had a brother like about 7 years older than me. He was like a walking nightmare growing up. So I never had a moment's peace. He had like three different mental illnesses that collided into one perfect storm of crap. So I never really had peace growing up. So the only solace that I took was from the video games. And back before we even knew what an NES was, it was like Atari was like so advanced. And then when an NES came out, I was like, holy crap. But like
Yeah.
I had Silver Surfer and like the Adventures of Tom Sawyer and such good games growing up.
Yeah, I can remember like I grew up the same
Goonies
way.
2.
Like started with Atari, then we got a Sega, and well, and Nintendo, then Sega.
Sega.
Yeah.
I loved Golden Axe. That was my favorite from
Yeah.
Sega.
My favorite, one of my first Nintendo games was Mega Man 4, and I'm a huge Mega Man fan.
I think my favorite's probably got to be 2. I had the most badass intro.
Yeah. Like, man, they're so good. Like, I just
That
recently bought.
intro was like as epic as Avengers Endgame to me. Like for
Yeah.
when I was a little kid. That basically like made my pants get wet. That's horrible to say, but
Yeah, it's like
it's because I
number
spilled my
4.
coffee all over them.
Sure. That's what they all say.
Yeah, what kid drinks coffee? What the fuck? No wonder why I'm like 2 feet tall. It stunted my growth. Must have had a lot of coffee. My blood vessels are just constricting thinking of my childhood.
I don't know why I thought of that, but one voice I wish I can get down to like the T. The T is Gandalf.
Oh no, you should have waited.
Actually, no, that sounds more like Sigmire of Katarina.
You should have waited. What are you fools?
My favorite line was, "You shall not pass."
You shall not pass.
Oh, that was so good.
Sir Ian McKellen.
They say you're the villain.
Is that what they say?
That's so good.
I used to be able to do a really good Sean Connery. I had a nickname in my middle school. People used to call me Sean because I was able to do a really good Sean Connery. And then after like smoking for 10 years and like dealing with stress and having 2 heart attacks, I can't do him as great, but here it goes.
You brought a knife to a gunfight?
Bless you.
You're killing me over here.
You're killing me, Smalls. I always wanted to host some sort of like a movie Jeopardy type of show. Where like every category is like a certain category of movies, like comedy, horror, science fiction, stuff like that. And then you have 3 contestants. And just like in the regular Jeopardy, where there's like double Jeopardy and stuff like that, you have something called double feature, which would be just like double Jeopardy. And the double feature would host a movie quote based off of a certain game that you have to guess what movie it's from. It would have been really cool. I wanted to do that when I was growing up and just host some sort of like a web series for it, but it just never really worked out.
I think it would be cool.
Totally.
can't remember what line was "Game over, man."
That was
What
from
movie was
Speed.
that? Okay.
Oh
You
no,
know,
no. That wasn't from Speed. Game over, man. Game over. That was from Alien. But they also game over, Jack. You know, or whatever it
yeah,
was.
yeah. There's quite a bit of movies now that say "Game over, man."
Game over, man. Game over. Bill Paxton was like such a classic staple of 80s movies. It's just too
You
bad
gotta,
that he passed away early. I think he had heart complications or cancer or something, but I have to do a little bit more research into that in order to find out exactly what he was suffering from.
oh,
I think it was like bowel cancer or something. I don't want to like say just in case I'm wrong.
since you mentioned Speed, I have to bring this up. You do you remember or recall like who the original actor was supposed to be?
For Speed?
Yeah.
No, actually, I've never heard that.
Have you ever heard of Jeff Speakman?
No.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in it, but like there's so all kinds of problems. But like I'm related to him because my last name's Speakman.
Oh,
Yeah, he was pretty huge in the '80s and um, just very good into karate and stuff. But yeah, he ended up
he was
leaving Hollywood and becoming like a master
not bodily challenged.
because he was up there
Crap.
with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Oh, that's cool.
Was deadliest man alive, I should say.
So tired of fighting these guys. They have like 9,000 billion cajillion things of health, and unless you backstab them, then it's like 2 hits. It's like people, and like everyday people. If they get backstabbed, they're not going to take it very well.
Somebody took the last Mountain Dew.
That's what she said. Where'd they put the Mountain Dew? That's what they don't know. They put it in the storage compartment that is the butt. Now the Mountain Dews taste a lot better, but they smell. And you know what? It's not even Mountain Dew anymore. It's Butt Dew. But you know what the real case is? But don't. What am I talking about? Nobody knows. Sometimes I feel like I'm Robin Williams, like I'm really smart and like comedy and stuff, and then later on I realized what I was talking about, and I was like, what the hell was wrong with me?
I do the same thing. I used to be like so sarcastic, like growing up. Like I calmed down a little bit, but one day me and my buddy we were playing Call of Duty and on chat. He heard me eating a sandwich and he waited to say something smart ass to me because he knew I was eating a sandwich.
Well,
He didn't
honestly,
want me
my
to come
friend,
out with a
if you can be heard eating a sandwich, then you're not doing it right. Just kidding. You know, maybe it's too much meat. I don't want to die.
That's
Come
what
on,
she
no.
said.
Pretty much. You know, I feel like you should reach the inner workings of humanity based off of sandwiches. And you make me look bad.
I'm trying to find this merchant down here.
Damn it, man! You almost made me choke on my drink.
Damn it, man, you almost made me choke on something, but I hope it's not that one thing. Give me a piece of chlorophyll. What?
Straight up gonna say the secret is I don't have no drink.
Nobody has chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll's a myth.
Back in the day, everybody had chlorophyll.
I
Everybody.
got that.
There wasn't one person that was deprived of chlorophyll. Now, nobody has chlorophyll. It sucks.
You ever... But yeah, I said that because you ever see Waterworld? Land is just
Yes.
a myth.
The land. The land. That was a pretty good movie. I actually thought it was good. I mean, it would have to be good if it spawned an entire Universal show for like 20 years.
Right?
Wrong.
And there's so many quotes from it, and like,
And Dennis Hopper, like you can't outdo Dennis Hopper in anything. I loved him in the movie Space Truckers. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I don't think I have.
That movie is so fun, like from beginning to end. It's like the special effects are all pretty much practical for the most part, and it's just basically about these like futuristic truck drivers who drove like semis but in space, and there's this like gigafoot, not a gigawatt, but a gigafoot. This is not Back to the Future, you know.
Sounds interesting. Probably have to check
It's
it
a
out.
very good. It's free on Tubi if you ever want to check it out, but it's pretty fun. Moment of silence. Be very welcome. Okay, we're done.
He's a good man. He's not going to be the next one. Sorry, I'm just getting into watching you play.
Oh, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I don't want to hold you up or anything.
No, don't you worry about holding me up. You can't because I'm a little bit too heavy.
Lift me up before you can.
Lift me up like the telephone. I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've been talking for almost 2.5 hours now, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's 2:20 in the morning. I started talking about maybe it was 12:30. You know what? I have no regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. We got 7 people watching. Started off with just 2, you and me. Just like in Fight Club, you started off with just 1 person. I mean 2.
You gotta give them the rules. We don't talk about Fight Club.
Okay, so fine, there is no Fight Club. So why are we watching this movie in the first place?
Hopefully someone enjoys our banter.
All it is in the end is a Tyler Burden.
I mean, are you enjoying yourself with our
No.
conversation?
What kind of a question is that? Are you serious?
Yeah,
I feel like a tomato.
Oh, come on.
I feel like a tomato that has not been thrown at somebody yet. I feel like my whole life is a waste of time. And you know what? That's fine, because I ran out of batteries for my clock, man. You can't force the narrative. I'm just messing around. Everything that you have said has been interesting and riveting, because you are a riveter.
Very interesting.
I am story-centric. If I was a person that was in like a book form, I would be story-centric, I think.
Yeah, you bet.
I think my story would be about a young man named Oliver who's just looking for food. Please, sir, can I have some less because it's awful? You know what I think is awful?
Just charge him. Get him.
I don't know what you mean. These are good people. I'm only fighting them because they paid me to. They just paid me after the job is done, which is a little weird because they're dead. Oh, this guy's bent over. Take it. This guy's got a hammer. I can't touch him, I guess.
Just take it like a good little boy.
Can't touch this. I make no sense. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize for
Or
my
maybe
candor.
you make too much sense and we can't handle it.
Maybe the sense that I make doesn't pay enough in order for me to pay my rent. Bless you. Land. Thank you.
Does anybody listening right now, does anybody have a gun that they can bring to the gunfight? Or maybe,
Let me see. How do I do Christopher Walken again?
sometime, you know, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there used to be a man named Darth Vader. No. There was once a man named Darth Vader. Darth Vader was only dark because he was Darth, and everyone liked the Darth and the Darth Vader man.
Did you ever see the Thumb movies?
Some movies.
Like Thumb Wars and Franken Thumb and like the God Thumb instead of the Godfather. They were made by a guy named Bob Odenkirk.
It vaguely sounds familiar, but I don't think I have.
It's basically a whole movie that's like parodied off of other movies, but with thumbs.
Yeah.
And like you have little faces on thumbs and stuff like that. Those things were actually so ingenious, but they only went straight to VHS.
You ever watch the weird stuff like salad fingers and stuff like that?
Here's a story about salad fingers. My wife makes character creations on the Elden Ring character creator. And she built a name for herself. She owns the Reddit account Lady Macdeath, if anybody watching has ever heard. And she's pretty popular on there, almost like a local celebrity, actually. And sometimes I even help her make her creation. But she made salad fingers on Elden Ring, and a lot of the other supporting cast members of the show. And it was awesome because it looked like 95% accurate to the source material.
That's awesome.
So you can actually make salad fingers in Elden Ring.
Cool beans.
Let's see if I can not die here. Nah, cool beans. Cool beans are terrible, man. I think this is the way I have to go. No, I was actually colorblind from birth all the way up until about age 26. I could only see like variations of like yellow.
Oh, wow.
Up until I took an analog of Owlad, which is like an analog of LSD, and it must have reshaped the cones behind my eyes. And now I can see partial colors, which is kind of weird. And also, I am from Holland. Isn't that weird? Whenever I hear somebody say, "Isn't that weird?" I always think of Goldmember. I recently watched those movies again. They're so childish. Like, so ridiculously childish, but they're so funny. They basically just remade the same movie 3 times. If you think about it, all the Austin Powers movies, they're all basically the same thing, just 3 times. You have some guy that picks his face, which is the only new thing.
favorite
I,
scenes is
I,
when the dude is laying there and he's like, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" and he's just screaming. And it's
oh,
like
you
far
mean where he
away.
gets run over by the bulldozer?
Yeah.
That was actually Michael McDonald, who was on Mad TV. He played the "Look What I Can Do" kid. I didn't realize that until years later that he was actually in that role. He played the security guard that got run over. There comes a point in their life where you just don't know what else to say, to be honest.
It's okay. It happens.
It's not okay. You know what? We should be infallible. We should be able to come up with millions of conversations in order to occupy ourselves. No, I'm just kidding.
They keep just
Human beings.
getting into just watching you run around and probably being lost.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a corridor. It might be down here, actually, where I can get to this area that's like completely surrounded by lava and fire, so that I can find a merchant who sells these things called sharpstone shards, so I can upgrade this weapon. And it's
I know
like
one thing.
2:30 in the morning.
One thing I like to do, like I know it's kind of random, but one thing I like to do is get random
Smear
songs
peanut butter
stuck
all
into
over
other
yourself?
people's heads.
Oh, you mean like
Poker face, poker face, poker face. I'm gonna get it stuck in your head. Poker face.
or you could do um the Numa song. The Numa song gets stuck in people's heads really easy. Maya, haha. Blaze the blessed alpha, Numa, Numa, yeah.
Can you imagine?
I think I found it.
Man, I really need to clean out my sinuses. Keep coughing.
Is this the start of a joke, or are you being serious?
No, I was being serious, but I
Oh,
started
okay,
to say it'd be interesting to have William Shatner sing Maya He, Maya He, Maya.
Oh my God, James T. Kirk. Yeah, just imagine that. Like that would be awesome. If you had
Did you ever
James T.
hear him
Kirk
watch?
taking us to a place we'd never been before, which would be dancing in a chair in front of a computer screen.
Did you ever hear him sing Rocket Man? Rocket Man.
Yes. Something from the something tonight. Thank you, Patches. Look at this guy's face. He reminds me of a bald Julia Child. Well, hello there. And I'm going to make you a chocolate cake that's going to be filled with some cakey goodness and maybe about 6 eggs. No, this is a mistake. You do not use 6 eggs. You use as many eggs as I say. I don't know. I always think I'm better than I am, that I actually am. It's kind of sad, actually, that I'm so piss poor at impressions.
You just gotta keep practicing at
I
it.
used
But
I used to
think
be
you're
so
doing amazing.
Thank you. I used to be fantastic at impressions, but 2 heart attacks really takes everything out of you.
Yeah.
It really affects your vocal cords. Going from like, I went from 416 pounds and now I'm down to 275. So I lost like 140 pounds, and it really messes with your vocal cords for the most part. It adds like pressure to them. Then you take the pressure off, and it's like that pressure and then release of pressure kind of like changes the pitch of your vocal cords, and it's kind of difficult. Like it takes away like 90% of the amount of impressions that you're able to do.
Yeah. Man, that sucks. I'm sorry you have to deal with that stuff.
It's all good, man. I appreciate it though. It's those words like that that give me saving grace for humanity. That people actually still care about other people out there. You know, if the world were to go crazy, you know, tomorrow, and there was nothing left to really do except prepare for the end, would people still be good to each other? You think?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I always figured once the day comes, like shit hits the fan, like I'm just gonna chill in my house, play board games.
Yeah. It's such an appropriate name, board games. I have
But
a board game that I never actually played. It's Bloodborne, the board game, and we didn't realize when we bought it that it requires at least 3 people to play. So it's like that was a waste of time. I'm only married to one person. If I was a polygamist, I think we could actually play the game, but it doesn't work that way.
yeah, I used to have it, but like unfortunately, like with the divorce and her doing her stuff, like literally lost everything. Like my PS5, all my board games, and
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you have to be in a relationship with somebody in order to play PS5, I don't think the relationship is really that good in the first place.
yeah,
You and your PlayStation 5 are the relationship.
just makes you think of Family Guy. Like, it's my sex box, and her name is Sony.
And this is my popcorn. People, for the first time in their lives, are going to see what a real God looks like.
Ah!
Okay, that's enough of that. I'm going to probably call it a night pretty soon, but I've gotten pretty far in a very short period of time in that game, and I think we've gotten very far in understanding the covalent bond that is human to human interaction. And I think that you have done a good job in portraying your own life as opposed to portraying the things that you find despicable about the graces of humanity. You know what? Who cares? Who cares, man? Let everybody be who they're gonna be because they're gonna be who they're gonna be regardless because that's who they are. They're gonna be it.
Right.
And it is what it is.
And that's the
And that
moral lesson
you
of
are
the
who
day.
you are. You are who you are and I am who I am. And we can't be anybody that we're not, so let's just be who we are. And that means basically accepting that turtles are amphibians and not reptiles. And you know, you can't make a rock be gold for the most part. But you can have fool's gold, and that's when you made a mistake.
Or you could say you can spit polish a turd, but in the end, it's a turd's a turd.
With a little bit of spit on it.
Dang it, I was trying to get you to laugh. No. Oh, you
You know
smiled.
what? I laughed inside. Maybe that's only because I have a lot of sweat on my face because it's hot as balls in my apartment right now. I think it's like 74 and it's a cold night. How does that make sense? Maybe it's because of the heat off of my PS5. It's been on for like 4 hours now. It's probably starting to get pretty hot in here. I gotta watch out for my cat. My cat is trying to strive for his life. He's, you know, looks like he looks delirious. And so do I. You know what? I miss Robin Williams, man.
Yeah, so
He was like the comedic genius that never got enough fame.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
give me
there's
1 second. I just have to. I have to take a hit of my Bond to James Bond. This is the sound of my heart breaking. You know what? My heart broke nice. And what I meant by taking a hit of James Bond is that we all have up-and-coming feelings about things that have happened in the past that we have not yet to decompress from. You know what? So saluting to a flag instead of saluting to yourself as the person who's going through your own life is just a travesty. That you can be a patriarch. You can be a patriot. You can be a matriarch for all you know today. And at the end of it, you're still going to be a milkman. You're still going to be catering to other people, going door to door, and finding out what it is to be a caramel salesman. But you know what? You can love caramels, but at the same time, you can't chew them because you take teeth out with it. So you get that extra crunch that you didn't want in the first place. And you know what? Everybody is just a little bit popcorn because at the end of your life, when you've had enough, you just pop. And guess what? I just popped. It seems like I just popped. So. Giggity! Giggity! And Lois? I can't really do Peter that well, but I'm trying. Hi, Lois! Maybe that's like my impression of the Peter Griffin from the first ever episode of Family Guy, where his voice sounded like this. Hey, Lois! You know, like it was kind of weird. Yeah. I have to get deeper, though. You have to be a lot deeper to do Peter. Like, you have to basically, like, call upon Seth MacFarlane in order to get the impression done. It's like taking a verse out of the Bible and then reciting the name of the Dybbuk that's getting you. My Dybbuk, in fact, is something called Harumph. And all he does is sit there and mock me about being too fat. Because I can't fit in the coffin at the end of the night because I'm a blood-sucking lawyer. I don't know what I'm saying. And we got 5 other people watching this.
Do you think you could do the first voice actor who did Homerson? Do you remember how horrible that was?
Homer Simpson. How do I do it? Hey, Homie! You know, I can do Marge a little bit, but let's see, Homer. I can't. You have to get the right pitch, and then you've got it down. Donuts. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, Marge donuts. I don't know if they lived in Rhode Island or not, but I do know that they have some Krispy Kreme in Rhode Island donuts. I don't know, that's pretty bad, to be honest. I can't do Bart either, you know. But I can get close. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect impression of these things. It's just fun hearing somebody try to do the impression in the first place. It's like, who my shorts? You know, whatever. Or like, if we end up in bikini, imagine if The Simpsons was in Bikini Bottom, and it was like, whoa, what was that? Miss Puff just lost her weight. Whatever. What did that mean? Patrick, hey, I'm not a pinhead. What do you call a pinhead? little. Oh,
I laugh so hard when they make it like so sexual, like, oh, SpongeBob, bend me over. No.
What are you talking about?
You haven't seen those TikToks yet?
No. You know the porn version of SpongeBob. Do you ever hear that? It's Diaphragm Bob. I have a whole list on my phone, like 70 movies based off of like Disney titles and like popular movie titles that are just taken to that type of name for like a different type of movie. If you can catch my drift. I'm not going to say it on here because this is TikTok, and for all I know, we could have an entire audience of 2-year-olds, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So, I want to be respectful and responsible. And if there are 2-year-olds out there, just remember to have a good life. That's it. Have a good life. Pretty much it. I'm going to give you your first handshake, and you're going to go on with it. You're going to have a good life, okay? make sure you don't get held accountable to anybody. And if you do something wrong, make yourself held accountable to people, please, for my sake.
Sorry, I'm just putting on my glasses, Gadget.
Yeah.
Go, Gadget. I'm a
Go Gadget's not a tumor.
It's not the tumor.
It's not any way of thinking about it whatsoever. No, it's the thing, the Turbo Man. I'm trying to get. I used to be able to do it so well, but your voice has to be able to go deeper. And my vocal cords kind of changed after my second heart attack about a year and a half ago. And I had so much weight on me, and then like I realized I was so dehydrated and just malnourished. Like I was trying to eat stuff healthy so much that I wasn't getting the right stuff in my body, and I in turn was eating like crap. And while thinking that I was eating healthy, so a part of it was my own way of thinking that was in my way. So I had to retrain my brain in order to understand what was the right thing for me. Instead of treating my body like an amusement park, I started treating my body like a park, like it rightfully should be. It's a park where I can remember the time that I actually threw a ball with my father in the backyard, and before he married the woman that became the bane of my existence. You know, the time when I can remember my life as a park being when I met my wife and she reminded me of what love is. Maybe treating my life as a park, meaning where I can just sit on a bench and I can just think to myself, this is my life and this is what it became. And I should not expect the end, but just experience the journey that I'm on right now. Even though it's been riddled with awful, awful images and stuff that no one should see, you know, a child going through. But at the end of the day, I can remember what it smells like to smell a flower. I can remember the feeling of actually playing in my friend's backyard, picking up a stick and using my imagination saying it's a gun or a shotgun. You know, actually having fun. And if I can just remember one moment, that means that I have something to live by. And this has been complete improv.
Yeah.
That whole thing could have just been a poem. Maybe a glistening night star is just one thing that you can observe from sitting afar from the reserve of your own star. That's a poem.
Yeah, as a kid.
Usually, I'm a really good literature student, and I've won a couple awards. One in high school and another one in college. And here's a funny story: my English teacher in college didn't know how to spell truck. She spelled it Trank. 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 A literature teacher. She didn't know how to spell truck. So then that's when I just gave up on college. I didn't go back, and now I'm smarter than any fucking college kid. I feel like I'm Will Hunting, but I'm not good. I feel like I can go solve some stuff on the blackboard, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be near a blackboard. I just want to go home and watch the Golden Girls because it's fun comedy. Because I feel like I'm older than I actually am. I feel like I'm 80 years old, physically. How do you feel? How old do you feel?
There's times where
Everybody feels a certain age. Some people feel 50, some people feel 12, some people feel 22. Other people just feel better than others in terms of their psychological state and physical.
Yeah. There's times where I feel like I'm 80, but most of the time I feel like I'm 19 or 21.
Hmm.
But yeah.
At least you're old enough to drink. 21. Unless you're in Canada. I think it's younger.
But yeah,
I think if I was 17, I could drink in Canada. I don't remember the rules though. Maybe they changed it.
But yeah, there's a few things I wanted to say to you. Um,
Hmm.
it's definitely been an honor and a privilege to meet you. Like my name's Josh. Um,
Thank
what
you for
I've
that,
noticed
man.
from
Thank you.
what I've noticed from you, you're very funny. You're intelligent. Like, don't let other people tell you otherwise. Like, I know you've been through some
I
shit.
used to
Like,
all the time. I used to all the time, man. Every moment of my life was lived trying to please other people. And it took basically hitting rock bottom for me at least 4 times during my life in order to realize that I can't do that. And trying to please other people has only led me to become abused by those people because they can take advantage of somebody who doesn't have their own trajectory. And that's been my family taking advantage of me in that way, my friends, sometimes even just acquaintances.
yeah,
When you leave yourself at the mercy of other people's choices, they always choose in their own benefit. Remember that, always.
and
Especially when those people are also suffering from mental illnesses that are non violent. They'll always choose in their own benefit because it's their life. And you know what? I don't blame them. If I was in their position, I'd probably do the same thing because I want to extend my life as much as possible. But me personally, I'm kind of at the point where I've hit rock bottom so many times where I just don't care about my choices. But I'm always going to do what's best for myself and the people around me because that's who I am. My wife also has some stuff that she's dealing with, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but I'm helping her with it. And she's come farther than I think she would be able to do in 2 years with therapy. And I think she's like on a super course through the evolution of her diagnoses. And I feel like I've done the same thing for myself too, because the worse my body gets, the stronger my mind gets. It's like a deaf person that is able to see in such more vibrant colors. And I love how that just got more colorful when I just said that. Um, Shit like that always works out with me. Like if I'm watching my cat run around the apartment and there's something playing on TV, the scene or the music that's playing in it always goes perfect to whatever my cat's doing. It's like if I just watch, you can see the signs that God leaves behind. And usually it's just something to brighten your day. Like if you can see the signs and see the symbolism around you, it's actually quite beautiful. You know, seeing how things coincidentally and through serendipity work together. Like watch something that's alive and cognizant of their own behavior. Just do something, listen to something in the background, and just watch how it goes perfectly with whatever you're looking at. And if you can see that, then you're always going to be able to give yourself a laugh, no matter where you are, or at least just a smile. Kind of like the Patch Adams philosophy, you can treat pain with laughter. I do believe it to a certain extent that you are the governor of your own body, and you can steer yourself in your own direction because even though you are created by God, if you are in His image, then you have all the abilities that He does. And not even thinking about it in terms of God or not God or Jesus or the Savior or the Bible or anything like that, just thinking about life itself. Life itself really is just a series of choices. And if you can make the choices that always are in your benefit, then you're always going to be on a positive path. But if you do things for nefarious purposes, it's going to worsen your situation over time because one of these times you're going to mess up and things aren't going to go your way and you're going to regret it. Bless you if you just sneezed.
I've been coughing. I'm
Oh,
also
well,
a
cough you.
smoker.
Oh, well, that's something that honestly I think would be in your benefit to stop. And I'm actually
Yeah.
telling you right now, stop. Stop,
Top
because you're
off.
my friend, and that you're my friend, which means that you are an extension of myself. Which means that by you harming yourself with cigarettes, you're harming me. You're
Yeah.
worsening the horde.
by
Like
putting
you
that
actually feel
poison into
ready
your
this
body.
time to stop for good.
Don't just be ready, know it.
No,
Either you're going to do it on your own, or something is going to happen to you and you're going to be forced to do it. Either way, the universe is going to have its way. And it's whether on your terms or the universe's terms. And all that stuff is doing is just prolonging the inevitable and making it worse. To be totally honest, all it is a crutch.
yeah.
The reason that you started in the first place probably was because you thought it was a certain degree of coolness, like it was intriguing to you to do something that you maybe didn't have a full grasp or understanding on why you were doing it in the first place. But it's probably something relating to your childhood. Maybe something that happened when you were very young that stuck with you. Maybe someone yelled a little bit too loud or did something that kind of insulted your intelligence or your ego, and it always stuck with you. And then one day you see cigarettes and you're just like, I'm gonna smoke. And then it becomes like something that you can adopt and you can make yourself feel better with. And at the end of the day, smoking is really just a crutch. It's just something that you can lean on because you're not ready to stand on your own yet. And when you can finally convince yourself that you're ready to stand by yourself on your own 2 feet, get up off your freaking ass and go throw them in the garbage whenever you're ready. But do it for yourself, all right?
Yeah.
Don't do it for me. Don't do it because I'm what I'm saying, even though I'm making a lot of sense right now. Don't do it for any other reason because you are ready to do it. And if you're ready to do it, it will be real. And if you really want it to happen, it'll happen if you go under those circumstances and those guidelines. And then you can sit back down again. And you can be so relieved. And maybe after about 10 months, breathe better. And go get your lungs checked by a pulmonologist, which is a lung doctor, and make sure that you don't have any nodes or limps or anything like that if it's been a long time that you've been smoking. Even one cigarette can cause something like that, so that's kind of scary. Take care of yourself, brother. Make sure you do that. Take care of yourself, because, I want to be able to talk to you tomorrow. Or whenever. Hopefully I'll still be here by the next time that we talk. I can only have a belief, and that's God, brother.
Yep.
God is one person interacting with another and causing another universe between the two. Another universe that's completely created between the bond that two people share. And then bring a third person into that, and you have the Holy Trinity of creation and communication. Everything has a deeper meaning.
Maybe next
Can't
time.
wait for Harry Potter Legacy?
No, I can't wait to tell you like my spiritual encounters. Like, I definitely like understand where you're coming with a lot of this stuff because like I told you I've been through like so much. I haven't told you everything yet, but I will.
Keep some mystery between the two. I don't want to hear about the size of your left testicle, but I would like to know your beliefs on, let's just say, Gaddafi. Gaddafi versus coffee. Was the man high strung? Anybody can be like Robin Williams. You just have to make the timing and the speed of your comedy like so much faster.
Yeah.
He was a genius in terms of his timing.
Oh yeah, he was.
Probably the only person that would have beat him with comedic genius and timing was Groucho Marx. That man was the biggest genius that ever lived in terms of comedic timing. Almost like maybe 60-70% of the stuff that he did in Monkey Business, Duck Soup, A Night at the Opera, The Coconuts, and the other one, I forget the movie, was all improv, and it was all genius. If you go back, most of the stuff is actually available for free on YouTube, so anybody can watch it. And
if you understand that comedy, then you're a pure genius. It's the comedy that actually created the type of comedy that you would have seen from Leslie Nielsen, like dry humor,
Yeah.
where there's not really much emphasis, but it's like so shocking of a thing that you just heard. Like, I just had my appendix taken out on Monday, and boy, am I feeling like a sheep. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and it gets you thinking for a few seconds, and you're like, "What the hell did he just say?" And
Yeah.
then, like, it's not really funny at all. And then the fact that it's not funny at all makes it funny, and it's like
Yeah.
you just created a pure comedy. And people did that. Like this one skit from, I think it was Duck Soup. If that was the one where it was like a cruise that they were on, and this woman saying like, "Hold me closer, closer, closer," and then Groucho turns to her and says, "Lady, if you were to hold me any closer, I'd be behind you." Like that type of shit was like so brilliant back in the day, and it was like the 1920s. They were so ahead of their time. My throat is so dry. If you haven't drank any water in the past couple hours that we've been on here, I am so sorry for your throat.
I just been
I feel like
drinking,
I feel like I just took a toke from the devil's butt. Or maybe I just hung out with Cheech and Chong, and for some reason there was this other kid there named John. It's like a James Woo movie. It just doesn't make sense. But somehow you're supposed to believe that it's scary. We just watched Annabelle Creation today, and the only thing scary about it is that he uses really loud sound effects in his movies. I don't know if you're into horror at all, but
yeah.
um, he's like the horror that is for people that are mentally immature. And I'm sorry if you're someone that really likes the horror of James Wan. I really am sorry if I'm offending your um, grandiosity,
You're
but
not.
I just personally don't like it. Like The Conjuring 1 was okay. It was pretty good in my opinion. Respectfully. And maybe I'm being too much of a critic on that movie because there are some scenes that didn't really need music. Um, hey, look, this is my impression of Amelia Clark. Okay. But long story short, you ever get like when you wake up from like a really good nap and you have that like big gunky stuff all over your lips, and then like you peel
Yeah.
it off and you could like stick two pieces of paper together?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't drank any water in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like when they drained Niagara Falls and they had all those bodies, like there's some like dead bodies in my mouth right now. And I'm not talking about Niagara Falls, New York. Niagara, if it was New York, that would be worse. Because as far as I've heard, there is no Niagara Falls, New York. It's just some guy who left the faucet on.
Oh man, like I
And that
haven't
guy
laughed
just
so much
happened to
in a
be
while.
Ed Koch. Excuse me?
What? I'm just laughing.
It's really, laugh it. Bless you.
You're trying to kill me with
No,
laughter and kindness.
first and
That's a good
foremost,
way to die.
I'm the one that is telling the joke. So that means that first and foremost, I'm trying to kill myself. So,
Oh man.
bless you, man.
Thank you. Really appreciate
You
it.
opened the box, we came. That could be a slogan for, I don't know, Peter North or something. My cat's just sitting here all majestic. He's not a perfect loaf because he has his tail sticking out of his back, but he looks so derpy right now. Hey, how you doing, Derp? Yeah, he's tired. His name is Flynn. We named him after the Doom Marine from the novel version of Doom, the video game.
That's awesome.
The Doom Marine's real name is Flynn Taggart, according to the novelization.
But yeah.
And that kind of marks the end of where I really know what to say. I mean, I could say a lot more, but I don't think it would make any sense, and I don't really want to drag you down to the roads of perdition that would be my vocal linguistics. Usually my linguistics don't actually make sense, even though they're more like Skrillex words put down into music note form. In my terms of speaking, that would be me saying something like hoobity blah, and then it would be just meaning so much. Now I kind of sound like Adam Sandler. Hoobity blah. Yeah. Hoobity blah, hoobity blue. Imagine if Adam Sandler did a remake of 8 Mile, and at the end he was just rapping by saying hoobity bloobity blobbity bloobity bloobity, you know, just going. And then it turned out that he pulled off his skin suit, and it was actually Kel, as you know, Kel Kimball as the guy from Good Burger. And
Yeah.
Adam Sandler goes hoobity hoobity hoobity, and then all of a sudden it becomes Kel Kimball, and he's like bloobity 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 bloobity, and then he just keeps going back and forth. He zips himself back up and becomes Adam Sandler, and then Adam Sandler's like hoobity bloobity bloobity bloobity, and then he's like, "I get my flask," and then everyone's like, "No." And people are saying like Popeye's chicken is the shiznet, and then like they mess up and they say shit. And then like they call the ratings board, and the FCC is like, "What the hell are you saying on air? You can't do that." And I'm like, "I'm not on air. I'm on the ground." And then everybody gets so confused because they try calling Abbott and Costello, but they're dead. So it's like a 777 number, and that goes directly to heaven. But somebody made a mistake. They were dyslexic, so they picked 666. So they called Satan Lucifer, and then at the end of the day, I don't know. I guess it was a collect call, so that they didn't have any money to pay for it. So, Julianne Melker, 705. It's like they couldn't reverse the charges either because hell is like prison. So when you get a collect call from prison, meaning hell, it's like Satan just wants to say, "Stop sending me people. I can't handle all you're sick and tired. I am not New York. This is not Ellis Island. You can't go inside of a big lady. You usually come out of a big lady." And besides, the Ghostbusters are already in there. Oh man, can I still keep going with this? Can I still keep improving? I don't know, because if I was improving, then I would be improving, because they're both spelled the same way, for Christ's sake. I'm not an English teacher. I don't come up with the homophones, I just come up with the holograms. I can only see myself talking so much. That was awesome, actually. That was almost like a rap verse. I almost sounded like Necro there. Hearing the sounds of like children's laughter, that's what drives me. Thank you for laughing. Bless you.
I can't believe you still heard that. I moved the mic.
Oh, well, I mean, my father's name is Mike, so I guess him not being in conversations is kind of normal to me.
Oh.
His name is not short for microphone, though, so I mean, at least there's that. His name is short for Mike. Carly,
man. You're killing me.
I really hope
Dying
not.
from
If that's
laughter.
happening, then if that's happening, I have to like hang up now because that's something that I don't want to do. I don't want to kill people with my laughter. That's not what. I'm not the Joker, okay? Even though when you when you know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night he came home drunker than usual. And can you do the thing in the background where it's like building suspense and it goes? Can you just do that? And then like see if you can get up in pitch after a while. My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night he came home more loaded than normal. And my mother, well, she took the razor blade and she gave herself a C-section. And it turned out to be a D-section because the penis fell right off. The penis! Sorry. And I said the pen is. It's 2 words. Pen is for TikTok, just so you know that. I said pen is. As in the pen is mightier than the sword, not the penis mightier.
Oh man.
Because if the pen is mightier, then that means that you can use a pen as a sword or a club or something and, protect yourself. It would be cool to have a pen baton. Just flick it out and then like write stuff down. It's like you act so badass, like you think you're gonna like go take on a whole group of people like an old boy, and then you whip out the pen and you're like, how much can I write you a check for so we don't have to do this?
Oh man.
The pen is mightier than the sword, as in I whip out my sword and it just falls to the ground. Curtains for all of you.
But yeah,
See, a lot of curtains.
I should get off here though.
No problem. You've been standing on this train a little bit too long, so yeah, getting off would be a good idea. Just don't get off in the other way. That's not good.
Yeah, the way I usually say it is like, I'm gonna hit the sack, then I'm gonna go to bed.
Well, if you're gonna hit the hay, make sure you watch out for the needle. Good night. I would say sweet dreams, but you don't want to be having any cavities in your sleep. So.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's a honor to get to know you, and God bless, and I hope I'll pray for you, and if that is if you want me to, like, I'll pray for you and your whole family.
Tonight has been a very rare night for me. I've been responsive, a little bit energetic. Usually I'm very tired. It's my ejection fraction, the left ventricle that supplies my body with blood. That's the problem. That's a difficult stuff to get through. It makes me tired all the time, but be sure to get some good sleep, man. You'll have the best thought process in the world if you get a good night's sleep, and I usually get about 1.5 to 2 hours a night. So you're doing better than me right from the get-go.
Yeah. But yeah, right back at you. Honestly, I'm not surprised you don't have a lot more followers. Like, I think you deserve it. Like, you're super funny and intelligent.
I appreciate that, man. Sometimes I think I'm just stupid. And you know what?
Moments.
Yeah. That's just the conscience part of me talking. And when everybody calls themselves stupid, they're not giving themselves enough credit. Nothing is stupid. If you had never heard it before, I guarantee you would never be stupid. And everybody would have the chance where even a baby could say to themselves, I've never heard something before. So.
But yeah, good night. Hopefully we can talk again soon. I'm getting off.
I've never been a soldier, so I don't mean to offend. So thank you for chilling. Everybody who's been watching, I appreciate all of you for stopping by. And I appreciate you for joining the Soldiers of God hour. Except this has been like 3 hours. So I think we kind of like, we didn't cheat you. We kind of gave you the opposite
We gave you stuff back. So you got 3 hours worth of content for just 1 hour. I think that's a good deal. You can end up selling that content as a result, so that way you can get some time back. Maybe you'll make yourself younger in the process. That's a real thing to think about. Reversing time.
All right, I'm hopping off here now.
Good night, Marty.
Good night.
Sweet dreams, everybody out there. Sweet dreams. Poopy.